Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time of day it is for you. This is the day the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. How are you doing today? Today is the day before Passover, and so I thought I would take this opportunity to show you guys a few of the things that you need to have on hand for your Passover Seder. Making sure I have everything. I have everything in place. I was going to do this as a YouTube video, but I know that a lot more of you watch when I do it on Facebook. So we'll do it here on Facebook, and then I'll share it on YouTube. And so today we're going to make some things that, we're going to make two things. One of them is a necessity, and the other one is something that I just like to have on Passover. So if you want to take a minute and share this video, you can take a second, hit share. What I want you to do though after you do that is to get your ingredients ready. If you don't have them, you can always pause this video and catch back up with us. You can watch it on the replay. But we're going to make today matzo ball soup, and then we are also going to make charoset. All right, charoset is a yummy apple mixture that is used. It's probably the only thing that tastes good on the Passover, on the Seder plate. So it's sweet, it can be mushy. We'll talk a bit about that, but we're going to start first with our matzo ball soup. Okay, so what I want you to do is get a pan, okay, a pan hot. All right, while that's getting hot, when that gets hot, we're gonna add a little bit of oil to it. While that's warming up, what I want you to do is to get a tray out and put walnuts on that tray. We're gonna toast those. Do not forget about those. You wanna put about a half a cup. Now this is gonna be for not our matzo ball soup, but this is for the charoset, so we're gonna do two things at once. All right, what you want to do, you don't have to toast these. It's okay if you don't have time, you don't have them in here, but it makes the mixture better. And again, it's probably one of the only tasty things on the Seder plate, so we want to make it good. So about a half a cup, quarter cup to a half a cup, depending on how many people you want to make your charoset for the Passover Seder. Put it on a tray, pop it in at 350. We're going to put it in 5 or 10 minutes. We're just warming those up. All right, now, in the meantime, our pan should be nice and hot, and we're going to add a little bit of oil. You can use olive oil or vegetable oil. I pulled out vegetable oil just because I'm using it for the matzo ball soup mix. Put about a tablespoon in, all right? Now, I have made here in a bowl, you'll see, I've made what's called a mirepoix. If you don't know what a mirepoix is, learn what a mirepoix is. It is going to be like the heart of so much of cooking that you do. It is simply, sounds so good, but this is the way above your, oh no, come on, you can easily do this, Joanne. I know you. This is so easy. Mirepoix, Trader Joe's, if you can get in one these days, because the last time I checked, you have to stand in line to get into Trader Joe's in our neighborhood. So it's easier just to make one, but Trader Joe's almost always has a mirepoix. It's always just, it's onions, celery, carrots. I've seen people do it with like broccoli and bell peppers. No, it's not. No, it's not. A mirepoix is celery, carrots, and onion. If you see it like that, lies. It's not supposed to be that. Okay, so we're gonna add this. I've done about enough for my family, for probably a little bit more, okay? I'm gonna add that in. You can hear it sizzle up. All right, I probably made a little more than I needed to. Because a lot of times, again, I'm lazy and I buy this pre-made. This is an easy thing to buy pre-made. All right, while that's starting to cook, I'm remembering that I forgot something super important. All right, while that's cooking though, we're doing two things at once so we can kill two birds with one stone. I want you to get some apples and core the apples. And you guys are further away from me than usual. I'm trying to do this with a tripod because everyone was like, you need a tripod, you need a light. So now I'm doing it with that, but it's a little harder. Is that Christine? Miranda, yes. We talked about the Passover Seder this year, and Christine, just so you know, we're doing one live tomorrow night. If you don't already know, we're doing it live tomorrow night on Facebook Live and on YouTube at King of Kings Community, Los Angeles. Look at me trying to hide my finger with my broken nail, as if other girls are not in my situation right now. So King of Kings Community, Los Angeles, tomorrow night, a live Passover Seder, but also, for those of you that are in the LA area and you want to join us for Passover, we are going to be doing it on May 8th, because in Numbers chapter 9, a similar situation to what we're going through right now happened to the Israelites. Now remember, we're still cooking, so hopefully you guys have a mirepoix. Hopefully you have some carrots, celery, and onion cut up. If not, you just cut those up while we're talking, okay? Again, you might be asking how many carrots. I put about two stalks of celery, 2 carrots, and a little less than 1 onion. Okay, you're ready to go for tomorrow night. That's awesome. You're so close to me. You know, it seems like you should be able to come over, but wow. Okay, so you want to put those in there while that's cooking. I'm remembering something I forgot. Bear with me. Be right back. BRB, as they say. I'm such a nerd. My kids just admit, you know, Mom, you're such a nerd. And you know what? It's just a beautiful thing to just admit it. I ain't trying to hide. I'm trying to hide it all. All right, we're going to salt this up, just, you know, to your own taste. Not a whole lot because you're going to be putting broth in here. So you chicken stock. So you don't want to salt it up too much, but the salt will help those vegetables cook down. I was saying something to you guys before. Hello, Seth. Where's your beautiful bride? You need to put her on too. Where's Johanna? We miss you guys out here. So in Numbers chapter 9, it tells us about some men that went to Moses and said, why can't we celebrate the Passover with everybody else just because they encountered a dead body, and so the rules were if you encountered anything that would make you unclean, you cannot celebrate the Passover. And so he said, the gentleman said, you know, it's kind of unfair that we can't do this. And Moses says, hang on, let me talk to God and see what God has to say. And he says, God, and God says, what they have said is valid. And so what you can do is if there's a reason why you can't celebrate the Seder, okay? If there's a reason why you can't be together, either through a dead body, becoming unclean by some sort of sickness. Hello, Michael, been praying for you in this season. Hi, Lloyd, good to see that name there. So it says if you become unclean for whatever reason by a dead body, through pestilence, I mean, it lists a couple different things. Hi, Corey, I wish you were here doing this with me. So it mentions about if we become unclean for these reasons, that God makes a provision and says they may still celebrate the Passover. Exactly 1 month later, they may come and celebrate the Passover. If you want to study this, it's in Numbers chapter 9, verse 6 through 12. And before we even knew that we'd be on lockdown for this long of time, and everybody was prophesying, "Thus saith the Lord, by Passover, we're going to be out." And I just knew it. I knew in my spirit that we weren't going to be, because I heard the scripture. The scripture came to me like immediately, and I hadn't read this or thought of the scripture in years. And I heard the Lord speak to me about the second Passover. It's called Pesach Sheni, just like Jenny, and it is a second opportunity. So if you're in the Southern California area and you want to join us on May 8th, we're going to be doing this Passover Sheni. So there'll be tickets available online. Just be watching for that or message us. Okay, now we have a safroto with our carrots, celery, and onion. They are reducing. We want to let them reduce a little bit more. You know what else I forgot? Thought I had everything. Pepper. You want to add a little bit of pepper at this point. Okay, so while that's reducing, while that's cooking some more, reducing down, it just takes a little bit to do that. We are going to take 2 eggs in a bowl. I already beat you to it. You know those cooking shows, they have everything ready. Nobody wants to wait. We've got 2 eggs ready to go. I'm only doing a portion for like 1 portion basically of this, all right? We did a Passover Seder years ago. We've taught Passover for years. We had never done it with a full meal until several years back. And Brian and I decided, since we cook so much, we will cater the meal ourselves. We'll do all the cooking and all the teaching. I'll never do that again. It was for only like 50 or 60 people, but when you're cooking all of that and doing all the teaching, that was not fun. Okay, so we made matzo ball soup for, for 50 some people. And then I had vegans. I had made matzo ball soup for vegans, and then, which you just do without the matzo balls. And then I had vegetarians, and so I had to do it with vegetable. I think I just did it with vegetable broth for everybody. I didn't get that crazy, but I remember, anyway, I can be kind of nuts. All right, so what we're gonna do is to these 2 eggs, we are gonna add 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Can you use olive oil? Oh, I did a little too much on that one. Can you use olive oil? And so someone's gonna ask that. Yes. I'm a rock star. No, I was feeling like an idiot. And Corey, that was the day that my kitchen sink flooded. That was just awesome. My mom will remember that. She was with us. She was peeling carrots like crazy for these 50 people soup. Peeling all into the sink, peeling carrots. And then we were making, I forgot, we were just making a lot of stuff and shoving it down the garbage disposal. And the garbage disposal got mad and decided to break. That was fun. So anywho, I'm learning. So, okay, we're still kind of cooking these vegetables. They're going to take you about 10 or 15 minutes to cook. So just to update you, in the meantime, we've got 2 eggs, 2 tablespoons of either vegetable oil or olive oil. The recipe calls for vegetable oil, but again, you can substitute. Now, to the matzo balls. This would be probably the most original way to make it, okay? This is just, it's not a mix. It's just shredded. You can actually just blend up after. Really, the reason matzo ball soup came around is because after Passover, all the leftover matzah, because you use it for Passover, and then no one really wants to eat it other than that. And so you find ways to use the matzah because you have a lot left over. So you can just grind up. A little cray-crays, right, Michael? You can just grind up matzah, and it's basically what's in here, okay? So I was gonna make this like this for you guys. I actually even thought about grinding up my own matzah. Here's the reality. I want you guys to learn how to make this. So I think the easiest thing to do is to show you the easiest way to make it. Wouldn't you agree that the easiest way is probably the best way if it tastes as good? Now, if it doesn't taste as good, not the easy way. I do not eat store-bought dressings. They do not taste as good. My Caesar salad is amazing because I make the dressing from scratch and it's not that hard. All right, but matzo ball soup, it's really no different. So here's where your life's gonna get easy. Go in the store, you've probably seen these on the kosher aisle or on the ethnic food aisles. Go and get yourself a little box. I meant to buy the matzo ball mix, not matzo ball and soup mix, but I accidentally bought this. The matzo ball mix will have 2 bags of matzah makings of that. This one only has 1 because it also has the soup base. I don't usually use their soup base because in the mix it'll have some MSG. A lot of times I use Better Than Bouillon, Booyah. This stuff is fantastic. If you have not used this before, you need to change. All right, in the meantime, we need to get checking on our walnuts. So let's pull those walnuts out. There we go. And those are gonna start cooling. If you have those in the oven, you wanted to do it. Yep, get it. Yes, Corey agrees, and Corey's my cooking friend. I said, I wish we could be doing these together. So Better Than Bouillon makes a huge difference. Now, you've got the 2 eggs and you've got the oil. Mix them up. Don't use a whisk. Normally I'd say use a whisk, but there are times you need to be ghetto and use a fork because you will regret using a whisk. Just like if you try to make bread and you're not using your stand-up mixer and use a whisk, regret it. I made some new cookies last night, and let me tell you, I have to make these for you guys. So amazing, one of the best I've made. Although that cookie dough cookie recipe is phenomenal. Go watch it on YouTube. Okay, so I've mixed these up. But again, the recipe I used yesterday for the cookies, whisk, bad idea. Sometimes things just get stuck in the whisk. Okay, so when this is nice and mixed up, as you can see there, we're gonna take out of these 2 packets, which one's which? The more finer, I guess you could say, the yellower one is gonna be your soup base. The whiter one is gonna be your matzah base. And I don't have scissors, so look guys, that's not really kosher, is it? Look, it was so easy just to pull apart. Why did I even bother using my teeth? Okay, let's not forget to stir our vegetables as we're talking. While that's happening, just set this aside, we're not putting this in yet. Let's add a little bit of water, just a little bit to the vegetables. We want to get those nice and soft. They're slightly browned, which is great. I love when the vegetables brown just a hair. Okay, we're putting a little bit of vegetables. Those should be getting nice and warm. We're gonna add hot water and let that boil in a minute. All right, now you're gonna add this packet. Again, this is gonna make you about 6 matzo balls. My son, Benjamin, absolutely loves matzo ball soup. For a season, he wouldn't eat anything. I don't know if you've ever had a kid like that. He wouldn't eat anything but matzo ball soup. So I would always, even if it was just the 4 of us, I would always make a double portion. I only have the 1, although I can make more later with this. But again, I wanted to keep it simple for you guys. If you're going to use this kind of matzah mix, you want to add garlic powder, you want to add salt, you want to add pepper and onion powder to this, okay? About a teaspoon of each, depending on if you do about, I forget on the measurements on this. I think it is a half a cup. Yeah, it's a half a cup of this. So a half a cup of this with, it doesn't say it on here, that's why I'm telling you. Onion powder, about a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of garlic powder, some half a teaspoon of salt, and some pepper, okay? If you're gonna do it like that. But this is just the easy way. Okay, now we have that completely mixed up and you're gonna put that in your refrigerator. But before you do, you are gonna now add water to your safroto, to your vegetables. And we're gonna let that boil, okay? You know, one of these days I want a kitchen that has one of the, the water pot things right in the middle. You know what I'm talking about. Like in Ratatouille, when he adds the water to the soup because it doesn't taste good. You guys remember that? I love Ratatouille. Okay, so you should have this all mixed up. Now, we have something to do. This is gonna sit in the fridge for about 10 minutes, okay? So put this in the fridge. All right, there we go. Now we can get rid of this. There's that seasoning packet. I'm not gonna necessarily use it. I don't like it because I have a problem with MSG, or sometimes it bothers me, but you can use it, no problem. You can use it and actually add some broth as well. All right, now we are gonna move over our apples, and we're gonna get started making our charoset. What is charoset? Okay, so charoset is what is used as, it's supposed to be like the bricks or the mud in the bricks, which is funny because I say it's supposed to be this or that. You might say, well, which is it? Well, they say it's kind of representative of both. Because of that, there's two ways to make charoset. You can make charoset, well, there's actually many ways. There's really no wrong way. I'm gonna give you a very basic recipe of charoset. Yes, well, they're doing well, but you know what? Lisa Bryan does amazing cooking as well. So I got to get him to do a video. He's an amazing cook. I know Corey can attest to that, and some of you that have had his food. Okay, so you want to start by coring your apples. Now, most people for charoset peel their apples. I don't, because it's supposed to represent brick. Now remember, everything at the Passover Seder table is to represent what was happening at the time of Passover. Oh, Trish, you were able to join us after all. This is the one that most people do want to see for tomorrow night because it is a necessity. Matzo ball soup is not a necessity. It's just something most people do serve on Passover. Okay, so what you want to do with your apple is this. If you want it to look more like the mortar, okay, so this is brick and mortar. If you want it to look more like the mortar, you're going to actually put this in a blender after we cut this up. If you want it to look like the brick, you're going to cut it into little tiny pieces, all right? And because of some technical issues that I was trying to figure out, we couldn't figure out how to get this light plugged in. Anyway, I only have one plug that's near the area where I'm at, so I can't bring my blender over. So we're going to do the bigger piece one, okay? And maybe I will do another video where I will blend it up and I can move it over. Okay, you're gonna just cut small, little tiny pieces. Corey, do you remember, who was it? Someone in your church did so much of this one year. All right, you just wanna dice this in little tiny pieces. I cored 2 apples. You probably don't even need 2 apples. Oh, I started cutting the wrong one. Okay, so just cut this in little pieces. We're gonna do this while that matzo ball soup is getting hot, or while the water is boiling. Stick with me. Okay. The one thing that's super cool, now I want you guys to join us tomorrow night because you're going to find out a lot. The one thing that's really cool about charoset is this. So everything else on the Seder plate, again, is a little bit unpleasant. You have a hard-boiled egg, which is not totally unpleasant to some. I find hard-boiled eggs just on their own are a little bit gross, but some people like them. My mom likes them, so forgive me for even saying that. Okay, as you can see as I'm cutting these, they look like little tiny brick pieces. Kind of, okay, as you can see. So we've got little tiny brick pieces. What was I saying? Oh, so the charoset, so everything else is on there. You've got parsley. You dip it into, you dip the parsley into salt water. We're gonna have salt water tomorrow night to represent the tears. We're gonna talk about that tomorrow night. Please join us. You can dip the egg in the salt water as well. I'm cutting these up just a little bit further. You have the horseradish. You have matzah, which isn't great, although I hear they're making like garlic and some other kind of matzah these days. But matzah, is usually just pretty plain matzah for Seder. So you have all this bitter stuff. And then you have charoset, which is sweet and delicious. It should be delicious. That's why I don't like the mushy kind of it. But I like to also make that and have it available on the table. You might want to make both. What we're going to do is everything you're making for the brick charoset can be completely the same thing. Nothing else changed. Just put in a blender and turned into the mortar type of charoset. Okay, so we have our little pieces of brick that we have in here. I've cut up not even half an apple at this point. We're gonna move on from that. Okay, there's like a half of an apple that's in there. Now we're gonna take our walnuts that have cooled, or else you shouldn't touch the tray if they haven't cooled. Now, can you do this without walnuts? Absolutely. My son is allergic to walnuts, so I do a portion for him without, but I wanted to do a portion for you guys with. So remember, we're still boiling up that soup, if you have that soup on there. All right, and you're just gonna take your knife. I don't know if you've ever done this, but you put one hand on this end, not this end, one hand on the other end, and you angle it, and you probably can't see because of the angle of this, but you're just gonna chop these up. Nice little tiny pieces. You want them real small with this. Okay, just keep going until you have them nicely chopped. Find the chop. So do you have to use walnuts? No, you can use pecans. I don't know if you want to use cashews, but you can honestly use whatever nut you have on hand. But again, this is something, if you're gonna participate in Seder, you need to make this, okay? So again, an apple, if you don't have an apple, you can use a pear. I was reading some recipes where people were using avocados. I think that's nasty. Come on, Californians, we like our avocado, but come on. There's a certain point where we gotta draw the line. Okay, so I have a lot of this chopped up. If you can see here. So it's a nice little chop. We could go in there, and we're gonna add this now to our apples. Okay, just adding that in there. Now, this is where, again, you can add something different if you would like. This is where you're to add sweet wine. Now, I'm not sure about mine because I forgot about this part. This was opened a year ago. It's probably not good. I would not drink this, but we're only gonna add a little bit, okay? Because we don't want this to be super soupy, okay? I'm gonna add honey to mine. Again, it's not a necessity to add honey, but it's something that I like the taste when you add some honey. So I'm just doing a tablespoon, like about a tablespoon. This is a very large, this is a stirring spoon. It's just about that much honey. We're gonna add a little bit of the sweet wine. Can you use grape juice? Absolutely. Can you use just regular wine? Yes, you can. You can. But the sweet wine, the point about this is it's supposed to be sweet. So we're gonna stir this up. And the thing about this, ooh, that honey is a very thick honey. I have a couple of different kinds. This is my super thick one. All right, now, if you're gonna blend it, or even if you're not gonna blend it, at this point you can add raisins. My husband does not like raisins. He thinks they're like little bugs. There's my dog making sure you know that we're live from home. Boo, shook it, as we'd say in Hebrew. Can somebody help me with a very loud dog? No, nobody wants to help. Okay, so stir this up. And this should represent, again, sort of like the brick. So we have little pieces of brick. Now, I'm gonna add to mine. Yeah, they don't wanna listen, they don't care. We're gonna add a little bit of cinnamon. I like it with a little bit of cinnamon. It's not necessary, but I like the taste of it. So you'll notice here, I'm gonna bring this in a little bit closer. We've got the nuts in here. Okay, so here's where we're at right now. Did you see that? I'm going to take this later, and I'm gonna put this in the blender and blend it up for just about 15 seconds, maybe not even that, because I like it to be just a little bit more creamy than this consistency. But that is basically right there what you want for Charoset. If you want it to be like the bricks, keep it like this. If you want it to be more like, oh, I'm falling apart, look at that. If you want it to be more like the mortar, you want to then blend it up, or again, you can do a combination of both. We will be using these for the Passover Seder. They are put between the matzah, again, to represent the brick when they were in slavery. And there's also something very special about it. I'll share with you guys tomorrow night, but it's about the salty turning sweet. Just give you a little hint. Okay, so let's put that aside. It's good. Oh, it's sweet too. And hopefully I don't pass out from, that was like a tablespoon of that Manischewitz. All right, so now while this is still getting to a point of boiling, it doesn't want to boil for me. We are going to take a little bit, maybe like, I don't know if you can see, you know, I do so much by my eyes. About 2 tablespoons, let's start with. Because you can always add more, you can never add less. Remember that, I say that a lot. You can always add more, you can never add less. So let's just start with this. We're gonna stir in some of this better than bouillon, okay? And I'm gonna switch. You know, when we bought this house, Brian and I cooked so much. When we bought this house had electric on the stove. And we said, never, I will never cook. Oh, look at what this did. Alexa, I'm not speaking to you. You may be quiet. All right, I'm gonna put this on.
I can't restart this device. Please follow the manufacturer's instructions.
Anybody think Alexa's listening? I'm gonna put this on a different burner to see if I can get that boiling. We said never, never, never. We will never use electric. And then we moved in here, and Brian goes, I actually kind of like cooking with it. It sort of keeps, you know, things even. And so I'm using this electric. It makes me crazy because sometimes it takes forever to boil. All right, I'm gonna put the lid on that. And what we're gonna do is this. Everybody, if you're doing this along with me, your matzo balls should be ready by now. So pull them out of the fridge. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes. You're gonna wet your hands, and you should wash them too. I washed mine before. Okay, but I just licked my fingers, so we don't wanna do that. Or wash our hands. Okay, dry them off, but then you're gonna wash them again and keep them wet. Okay, we are gonna keep our hands wet. Shake them off. Okay, hopefully by now, let's see, Alexa wants, I know, I gotta try and be nice to Alexa, but she makes me crazy. She's listening to us. Okay, so by now your water should be boiling. Mine is not, because isn't that how life rolls? All right, we're gonna take the matzah and you're gonna make little balls, okay? My son, let me tell you this, those of you that are parents, Melissa Disney, if you watch this, I have to tag you in this. Do this with the kids. This was Ben's favorite part, was to take the matzo balls again, make sure their hands are clean, make sure that they stay wet. You want to keep your hands wet. You do not want to dry them off. This will not work. While your hands are wet, you want to make a little matzo ball, about that size, okay? So you just roll it into a ball, and this water should be boiling, but it's not, so we're gonna drop this in anyway, okay? Because we want to keep moving on this. So you usually want to wait till it's boiling, but we're doing a video, aren't we? Hi, Sarah. So good to see you. At least to see your name. I haven't seen you in a very long time. Would love to hear from you. All right, so we have another one there. Like I said, this is going to make maybe 6 of these for us, maybe a little bit less. I'm going to make some more later when I'm not with you guys. I wanted to show you the easy way to make this. But again, if you want to make it with the other container, you want to make sure you have onion powder, garlic powder, salt and pepper. Oh, I'm sorry, also mustard powder. If you add that, makes it amazing. I did that one year and it was super good. Okay, so we're at 3 matzo balls. Haha, Michael's saying hi, bride. Not that you can't see it. Okay, we're at 4. I'm gonna get almost 6 of these. Now, my son used to make them really big. You can make them whatever size. A lot of restaurants will make them real big, and they're great like that. If I had done that, I would have gotten maybe 3 or 4 out of this one mixture. So again, you probably want to do 2 of these. I did think I bought that. Hello, Christina. I was just watching, I think I just saw Christina Mays. I was just watching you singing that beautiful song from our Easter production, The Kingdom. I think I'm going to post that this week. Yeah, we love this kitchen. Like I said, other than, the stove, which wasn't my best friend when I moved in, but it's pretty good. It just takes forever to boil stuff. Okay, so I'm dropping my 6th one in there. All we have to do now is let that boil. You're gonna wanna wash your hands afterwards, but let that boil, then you're gonna season it to taste. Add more chicken stock if you want more chicken stock in there. Add some pepper. You can add a little bit of salt. You know what I've done sometimes too is thrown in some garlic. This is a great season to throw in some garlic. Hey, Cynthia, you should probably already made this before, but a great season to throw in some garlic because garlic is antiviral. It's really good for our bodies. So throw a little garlic in there. If you don't have this kind of chicken stock, you can use whatever kind of chicken stock you want. Again, the easiest way to do it is to get this mix because it does have the soup mix with it. So you can just do that. It just makes it so much better if you have better than bouillon. And then your charoset, like I said before, if you want to, just pop everything we did into the blender for about 10 seconds or so, and you'll get a little bit thicker, that maror, the mortar, the brick and mortar, that's what I'm talking about. Let's see, you're making, I don't even know what that is, but I do love chicken curry. All right, so that's gonna keep boiling. It's gonna be amazing. Tomorrow night, we're gonna have that for our Passover Seder, as well as having all the elements. Now on your plate, your Seder plate, you wanna have the charoset that we made today. You wanna have parsley. You wanna have like either romaine lettuce or endive is real pretty and nice if you can get endive. You don't even have to have it. That's an extra thing. It's an extra bitter thing. You don't need to have it. You can have cilantro. Any kind of bitter herb is good. Like Brian even said, if you have some celery, just the fronds from celery are enough. You don't need a lot. And then you want to have a boiled egg, a hard-boiled egg. Again, not a necessity because I know a lot of us are watching the egg consumption right now because there aren't a lot out there, which I don't know where all the chickens went. They were the same chickens a month ago as there are now, but just like they went on vacation with the toilet paper apparently. The toilet paper must have, yes, had something to do with the chickens. We'll have to get to the bottom of this. Anyway, the other thing you're gonna have is if you can find a lamb shank, lamb bone, it's a little hard to find, or a chicken bone will do. And then for your dinner for Passover, it can be whatever you want, but it's great to include lamb if you can. I don't really eat it, but if you do, and you know what, there are special occasions where I will. So I probably will tomorrow night. So if you do, then lamb is a good thing to get. If you can't get lamb right now, again, you can have chicken. It's important that whatever you cook, according biblically speaking, is that you cook something that you roast it, okay? Your meal should be roasted. I can't even see, I see Belle. Yes, Sarah's mom. Hi, good to see you there. The camera's kind of far away, and those of you that know me know I need glasses. Those of you that want to join us tomorrow night, please join us for our Passover Seder tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific Coast time, 8 p.m. East Coast. The reason we're doing it so early, you should wait till sundown, but we're going to be teaching first, and we want people on the East Coast to be able to join us. You East Coasters, if you eat late, this is perfect for you. If you're not a late eater, you may want to have a little bit of a meal first and then join us for the teaching. But we're going to have an incredible time here on Facebook Live, on King of Kings page, and also on our YouTube page. You made your challah. Was it good? It's good. I saw some people send me the pictures of the challah they made, and it looked really great. I'm really proud of you guys. I'm looking forward to seeing pictures of your matzo ball soup and your charoset, and seeing you guys all on tomorrow night. Please share with friends and family. This is a very, very special Passover. Never before, since the first Passover, have we been commanded to actually be in our homes with our families. And so we're really excited about what God is doing. Brian and I are going to do a video later tonight with just him and I just talking about tomorrow night. So be watching for that. As the rain comes pouring down, we of course know that rain is a blessing and is washing things away. So we love you all, and I will see you, let's see, tomorrow. Nanny used to make an awesome leg of lamb for Easter. Really interesting. I never did have that. That's really cool to know. All right, love you all. Be blessed. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Oh, and now I got to hit the button, and you guys are really far away, so let's get real exciting. Here we go. Bye-bye. See you later.